Hello, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Doing all right, not too bad. Pretty good week last week. Pretty good weekend, and
That's
now
good.
here to
That's good.
hopefully
It's
do a repeat.
yeah, it's good to see you upbeat.
Mm.
Not that you don't usually are upbeat, but it's good to see someone upbeat, I guess.
Well, it is kind of early, so it's still I'm kind of like waking up and
Yes.
stuff.
So life didn't get a chance to hit you.
Oh no, yeah, we'll see. I have a bunch of meetings coming up, so yeah.
Oh, nice. That sounds good.
So how was your real quick? I was a guest. The good folks at Avocado Labs had me on their
Oh yeah.
show on the Auth0 Twitch channel, and so I was able to go there and kind of like we built like a web component, and it actually worked. So that was amazing. So
Very nice. You sound surprised.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like anytime you try to do live, because not only did we build it, but we published it, the web component, and then used it in a project. And when it actually showed up, I was like, "Oh, it was awesome." So I felt pretty good. So, I'll if I can, I'll just copy I'll put a link to that video, I guess, in there.
Yeah,
in the
put it in the chat,
and then so everybody wants to check it out. Absolutely. But yeah, it was a good time. So thanks to Anna and Sam for having me, and so it was good times.
Awesome. That sounds really good.
If I can get this to work. So how's your weekend?
Yeah, it was same old, to be honest. Not much has happened here, mainly because it's still bad, and and it's just bad. So we're hoping. I was telling you earlier, we're hoping to have an announcement today, with kind of going back to normal, or kind of I think we call it a 4-step plan to go back to normal, which I think it's way too early. And they're planning to open schools in about 2 weeks, and then gradually open everything. I think it's way too early, and I think they need to give it a bit more time for vaccine to work, because over here they just did a lot of people with the first vaccine. They didn't do a second dose, which is bad. And they playing with fire, because the efficiency of a second dose after 12 weeks hasn't been proven.
So they're like waiting too long in between doses and stuff?
Correct, yeah. Because I think the guidance is 4 weeks, but they want to go with as many people as possible, which makes sense to a certain degree. But also it's not proven to be as efficient as going after 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But they're going for the big number because they're politicians. So they try to, we vaccinated so many people. Yeah, but it's not true vaccination. It's just kind of...
Yeah, this round one.
Yeah, and I think they did some studies in Israel, because they're way ahead of us with stuff, and I think the best efficiencies after if you allow 3 weeks between the doses. I think that's for the Pfizer, so we're using AstraZeneca, which might be different, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think they're using Pfizer as well, but AstraZeneca is kind of the main one that's made in UK.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, get this worked out.
I mean, they're saying they want to vaccinate everyone by July, or every adult at least, which would be interesting. But I think politicians again, by vaccination means first dose.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. What do you want to talk about today?
I was just telling someone, like, I'm hoping like 2021 is just boring. Like, I need it to just be just uneventful. I don't need any excitement right now for at least a year. So just need to be as predictable as possible. So we'll see.
Well, I guess, I'm not sure about predictable. I like things to be a surprise, but to be a nice surprise rather than a bad surprise.
And see, that's the thing. When you leave it up to like a surprise, it's kind of like you don't have control whether it's going to be good or bad.
That's true. Yeah,
I kind of just want nothing. I just want to just boring. I just want boring.
That's not bad at all. That's not bad. I can do boring as well. I think it helps to know what's happening, and especially with us. And I think we're coming to that that boundary of a year since the last event we did, and I think people are starting to post pictures of what happened a year ago.
Yeah,
and
so long ago, kind of.
Exactly. So they try to be a bit kind of nostalgic about stuff. So yeah. Anywho, let's do some things. Let's go right into the meat of it, as I feel like
good.
I just want to do stuff. Let me share my screen.
So I guess for kind of like context, we're building out the back end of our conversation app. So it's
so I have a URL on the screen, nextmodel.dev/vapp. I just realized the coupon code is actually the one for January. I forgot to update it for February. But if you want a coupon for February, just get in touch and we'll be more than happy to share it with you. So we're building the backend. Sorry, I'll make it this bigger. Is the music okay, Dwane?
Yeah, sounds fine to me. Yeah.
Cool. Right. So last week we were looking at the webhooks. So just to go back from the start, we have this webhooks which we linked inside. Where is it? I think it's inside here. Yeah. So we assign it on slash. That goes into the webhooks, which is this one. No, not this one. Sorry. This one. Right. That loads the different webhooks that we can have. I feel like we're missing a step. Hold on. No. We need to go into the routes first, right? So the routes, this is where the split happens. Yeah. So here for the routes, we for the RTC events URL, we're checking if we have the right Vonage app ID, and if we have a type for that event, and then we display it on the screen just in case we get something that we don't have, and we use this trick to get some sample payloads so we can do stuff internally. And then we're splitting different things. So we have conversations in here. I think this is the one we did 2 weeks ago. Last week we did the member invited. And I've added all the others as well. So we have member join and member left. And also I went ahead and added the text one. So the text one, I changed things a bit because in some cases, you can't split it like this. There is no body inside body as such. Okay. So different events have different things. So just to give you an example, for example, when you receive a text, the body is like that, but the ID and all the other stuff is outside. So the conversation and everything. So because of that, I decided that it's good if I, where is it? In the routes. If I just push to the RTC events text, push the entire body, and let that kind of place take care of everything and how it is structured and so on. So I didn't want to add logic at this stage. Okay. I actually went back and I did the same thing for the members. So you notice members now sends the whole request body now. It doesn't send just the body, which is the extract from here, right? So and the one for the member join, the member left, is just a status update. So I'm using the same method with different statuses, right? Okay. So that way I can reuse some of the code, and I'll show you the code. So let's have a look at the members first. So all of it is in the webhooks RTC events here. So we have the barrel, whatever it's called, the barrel. Is it the barrel?
Yeah, barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have conversation members text. So the members is the invited is the one that creates the member. So it's a bit more complicated. And I went in and I'm actually, I did a bit of refactoring actually in the way it works. So we had a bit of confusion of what point do you go to the API. Hey, Jason, good morning.
Hey, Jason.
Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So I was thinking, it got to a point where I was a bit confused. Kind of, where do I get things? Is it coming from the database? Is it coming from the API? So I said, you know what? Let's make a rule and say I'm always talking to the database, right? Mm-hmm. And if the database doesn't have stuff, it's the database layer. Sorry, it's the layer that gets the data to decide where to get the data, from the database or from the API.
Okay.
Right? So for example, in here, when you add a new member, you need the member ID, right? Mm-hmm. In here. If you don't have it, you add stuff. But let's say you need the conversation. What happens if you don't have a conversation?
Okay.
Because you do it like this, it's actually very simple to follow, right? So if I go to the data conversation, when you get one, I can send an API fallback as a parameter, and I can say, if you don't find it in the database, go and fetch it from the API.
Oh, okay.
Right? So in here, because I need it to be there, I say, yeah, just go to the API. That might not be true in all cases. In fact, in most cases, you don't want to touch the API if it doesn't exist. Right? But in this case, I need to make sure that I have a conversation with the user for that member. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to put it in the database, right? So actually, I'm playing exactly the same trick on both of them. And I look in the database, and if I don't find it in the database, if I find it in the database, or I don't want to go to the API, I'm just returning stuff. So this can return either the object or undefined.
Okay, so that's saying like, all right, so if you do find it, or that the
you don't want
API
to
fallback, so then you just return that. Okay.
Yeah, whatever that is, right? And then if I get to this point, that means I don't have a conversation in the database and I want to go to the API. So this one does the whole trick, and then it inserts stuff in the database, right? If it finds one. If not, it returns undefined again. So we say exactly the same thing, right? And this one uses uses an internal create here, so you can create it creates a new a new entry in the database and then returns it. Yeah.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So that's why I never go to the Vonage API directly. I always go to the data layer
first, or what have you.
And the data layer decides if it needs to go to the API or not.
Okay. Okay.
And it's much simpler, much easier to understand what's happening. Because I was getting confused, and I'm not sure if I still have a drawing. I draw it somewhere. Yeah, let me make.
Sometimes you always got to go back to.
I just kind of do it like this, so which way do I want things to go? And then I decided, you know what? Because initially I said I'm going to go to the Vonage because I'm talking to Vonage, right? So I want the data from them. And I said, hold on a second. Actually, this is what we're building here. We're building an API that has data local, so you should talk to the local data layer, right? You don't talk directly to a third party.
To make sure first, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm going for data, because you always want to make sure that if you have it in the database, you return that. That cases where you want to update it, and that's fine. But for the cases where you want to just get stuff, you talk to the data layer first, and the data layer decides if it doesn't have stuff in the database, it goes and gets the one from the API. And you control that by injecting this thing.
Yeah, so then like for member joined, and when you're updating stuff, so you that's coming from Vonage, so then you want to actually go and update it, right? So you want
so this is for the member invited, which is the first time you see a member. Actually, you can probably see it as a join if it's joined directly. I should probably test that scenario. Anyway, so in this case, I need to have a conversation of a user, and then once I have it, I'm just adding. I'm just creating this data member invited, which effectively creates a record if it doesn't exist in the database. And then for the status update, I'm doing exactly the same thing. So I'm checking if I have all the data that I need, and then you check if you have a member. Right, so this is the from, which is that member ID. So the get here is this member's get, right, which just simply gets from the database. This might be actually a case where things might not be right if you join directly, because if you join directly, you won't have a record in the database.
Yeah, because you skipped invited.
Yeah. So we need to test and see what is happening when we get stuff directly from the when we put a member directly in a join status. Cool. Sorry, going back to the stuff. So those are the two things. So I added the invited and the status update, right, in the webhooks here.
Cool.
And then for the text, it's fairly similar. So you have RTC text. Oh, for the text, you also have a new table in the database.
Okay.
So remember we created this conversations and members,
Mhm.
and I created events, which has the conversation ID. You have a from member ID, which is not null. So the conversation of a from member need to exist, but the to it's optional, right?
Okay.
So you can send a message to a conversation. You can send it to someone directly. Hey, Luke, welcome to the pre-show, to your pre-show.
Hey, Luke.
How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Monday, and hope you have all your fingers left. I'm not sure if you saw.
What was he doing? What
It's another episode of Luke doing DIY soap opera. He's putting up a shed, I think.
Nice.
A metal shed, just kind of for storage. So I saw some
nice.
pictures.
Nice.
Yeah, you need your fingers to type, Luke. So
Exactly.
until we get that stuff going straight from a brain to the computer, I think you'll need your fingers.
Or even voice. Like I've seen some pretty cool stuff. People like programming with the voice. I've seen it's kind of.
You'll be surprised. I actually saw about 5, maybe even more years ago, someone blind using Xcode to program. It's just amazing. Because Apple built accessibility into everything in macOS, it's really, really easy to do it. But just seeing how people are using it with voice is just eye opener. It's just crazy how good it is.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like technology helping people, be able to do everyday things. Like, yeah.
Luke says, I've seen coding by voice and I want no part of that. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's still early to you can't infer context, and you can't infer kind of, what you mean by certain things. So it's just basically just direct translation, and it doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I'm hoping with time, with like AI and stuff, like it can learn how you kind of want things to be done, and so it'll kind of pick up on. So I mean,
talking about AI, I'm actually listening to a really good book called Life 3.0 that discusses AI. It's just absolutely amazing. Let me see if I can pull it up.
And then we almost forgot that.
Yeah, the reason we forgot it is because the video is not live yet.
Oh, okay.
So we're a bit early. We had 3 episodes last week, so we've seen all of them. So there's something coming, but it's not there yet. So it's called Life 3.0. Yeah, it's this one. It's really, really good book. Definitely worth a listen. I'm usually listening when I walk the dog, but
so is it okay? So it's like nonfiction. Okay.
Yeah, it basically. I think he works for. He's a professor, first of all, and I think he works for MIT, and he started a kind of worldwide group of what's the best way to describe it? But basically, just to put some ethics into AI. And kind of build some things later on, kind of from the basis. And he organized a very big conference in 2000, early 2000s, I think, or 2010. And he had a lot of people, including Elon Musk, going there and speaking, and kind of big names. And he's starting to kind of get everyone to agree to this kind of basis of how we develop AI, especially when you talk about munition, weapons and other things. But there's some chapters are a bit kind of scenarios, so it's a bit of a fiction as well. But I think overall, what discusses it, it's really, really interesting. So how you can, and I like his approach. He says, we've evolved so far by using our brains. What if we augment our brains to take them even further with the help of AI? Because AI it just kind of can see things, right?
I kind of want like AI not in my weaponry. Like if we could just separate that, because that seems like the beginning of Skynet and Terminator.
Yeah,
that is literally what happened. So
there are certain things where AI is good. I agree. Military, completely agree. But apparently, and I didn't know this, it's in the book. It's really, really good for interpreting laws and stuff. Listen to this. So judges are more lenient in the morning than just before lunch because they're hungry.
Okay.
So it's more likely that you're going to get a better sentence, as in, lesser sentence, if you go in the morning with your case than if you go just before lunch. And it's human nature.
Well, yes, I agree with, because believe me, I understand that the laws are super uneven.
Yeah.
Like that's,
Yeah.
And so, okay, something like that, I guess, because you don't even really need to see a person. You just know what they did. You have evidence or what have you. Exactly. I can get that, yeah. But having like some sort of oversight over it or whatever. And so
to
make it more even. Yeah, because that's my thing. Yes, I agree with like sentence, like judging stuff. Yes.
Yeah. But it's interesting because if you take it, and because it's already in use by some police departments and some law enforcements to predict which inmates are going to go back to committing crime.
See, now that part, I'm like, no,
that's bad. Stuff. That's bad.
Yeah,
because
okay.
Race plays into it, and a lot of other stuff. So they actually, it's.
No, I was gonna say, like what? See, the thing is, when you put in bad input, regardless of however great the AI is,
exactly,
you're gonna have bad output, and then they can be like, oh well, the AI said it, so you know what I mean? Like I can't do anything. So I don't want people just to shirk their responsibility.
It's not necessarily bad input, but it's an incomplete input. And that's Minority Report feels like that. Yeah. Feels from that. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So like I don't know,
but for example, why is it politics the only place where you don't put someone in the best role based on merits, but it's based on money, based on influence and stuff like that?
Well, that's because it's a corrupt system.
Yeah, but that's the most important job in the country, right? Yeah. So wouldn't it be nice to have AI govern you and make decisions based on proper input?
Again, it depends on like who's putting in the input.
Yeah.
Like whatever the base like data is coming from, I'll have to kind of.
No, let's do a simple example. Potholes, right? You know what potholes are.
Yeah. America's built on potholes, pretty much.
Exactly. So if you put them statistically in there, right, without feeding up how rich of a neighborhood one is, and you will go statistically across all the neighborhoods, right? Well, local councils seem to be always prioritizing rich neighborhoods over poor neighborhoods when they kind of clear the roads. And some of the roads around where I live are really, really,
bad.
Really bad because, I don't live in a rich neighborhood.
Yeah.
So for that sort of thing, it's Luke is saying AI is trained neutral and becomes racist because society is inherently racist because we try to be neutral without address racism.
Yeah,
yes and no, but it's not trained neutral because it's trained based on the data, right? So if the data is biased, you will have a biased result. So AI is not. There's no intelligence. It's just pattern matching. There's nothing else.
And that's the thing. Like when it comes to humans, you have to be because like your pothole example, it's either a pothole or not. So you can train it on data for like it's a pothole. This is not a pothole.
Exactly.
But humans are super complicated.
Yeah.
And it gets super messy when you try to have something that's not complicated, kind of like govern something that is super complicated.
Yeah.
And so maybe as like a check or something, like if a judge or what have you, let's bring it back to a judge. If a judge has a certain case, and then we're like, oh well, wait, you as a judge have judged this differently. Like, well, why is that kind of thing? As like a check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if it's because you're hungry or whatever, then the AI is like, well, have you eaten it? Like here's a Snickers bar or something.
But that's the thing. You will see those things only as at a statistical level way after the whole thing has happened, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's not gonna be a quick thing. Like I don't want it to be quick. I need it to be a long, drawn out, proven process with bunches and bunches
of course.
Oversight before
I mean, that's where the problems can arise with AI because some of the newer models, you can't really understand why you reach a certain conclusion. They're so complicated. And, like, especially when you go to inferred models and you kind of all sorts of kind of craziness has been discovered in the last 5 years.
Yeah. Like there was a thing where it was like there's some sort of AI like recognizing people, but then certain people would come up as like animals and stuff. I'm like, that's
bad data.
Yeah,
fed in.
and so nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it kind of for now, I think to train it, it's going to take a lot of training. And I think before it moves into like the front facing place or whatever, we need to make sure it's testing and using it as like a additional thing to kind of check or what have you.
Of course, yeah. So it's a bit like self-driving at the moment, right? It exists, but it can take over, and even in Tesla, you're supposed to pay attention to the road.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like that, but eventually, yeah, it's going to go into unknown territory. But yeah, it's a bit like Black Mirror, right? Did you see Black Mirror?
I haven't seen Black Mirror. Like I haven't watched, but I've heard some wild things about it. So
yeah, there's a very famous episode where people get different scores based on their interactions, and it's basically
that's happening now.
It's a social network. Yeah, but you get it's a bit like what's happening in China with credit scoring based on a rating and stuff like that, and it's just crazy because it's very real and it is happening.
Mm-hmm. And that's people doing it to other people. So I don't know about like AI. Yeah. Keep AI out of my military. I'm cool.
It's already in there, right?
Yeah, I know. And so we
because military has the most money, so probably invest the most amount of stuff in there. So yeah. Cool. So yeah, I'm not sure how we ended up to that, but going back to our sheep, as we say back in Romania. So we have events that belong to a conversation that have a from member ID to a member ID. Vonage ID, this is the ID an event has in the context of an application.
Okay.
So in the context of a conversation. So they start with 1 and they're going up. It's a unique identifier.
Yeah.
And
so anytime like a member is added, so any sort of event, so like member invited, member whatever,
exactly.
Something a text, all this. Yeah.
Exactly. Perfect. But in this case, I'm not storing those. I'm only storing text events because I've decided to split it because I'll need it later, and it's much easier to do it this way.
Okay.
So I'm storing the Vonage type as the type of event and then the content, and created that as when it's being pushed. So if you imagine you're going to use this for a text chat, you're going to have the content. So you're going to look for type of text, and then the content, you'll get the text from there, and then create that.
And so I've never seen that timestamp without time zone. Is that because it's a Unix based like number of milliseconds kind of thing, or
it's usually you store it like this, and you're supposed to convert everything to UTC. So when the user changes where they are, because if you insert timestamp with a time zone, you assume that the user time zone.
Yeah.
And you assume that it's always like that, but it's not always the case. So the best way to do it is to convert it to UTC, store it without time zone, and then when you put it back to the user, you adapt it to the user time zone from UTC.
Yeah, and I think ours is like, isn't ours in the milliseconds thing? Like when you do like date new and it's the millisecond since like 1970 or something like that. Isn't that?
But that's how you store it internally. That's not the timestamp representation. That's
when it comes back, it's something else. Oh, okay.
So it's a date time basically.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it came back as that millisecond thing. Okay.
No, I think let me open.
Hey, the ball builded builder.
What's happening with my Postgres? It's not started. It started.
I would agree with you, Triple B.
What is he saying?
Maybe we should put AI in politics. Doesn't seem like we have a ton of human intelligence. Yeah.
True. I heard a very good joke today. It was done in the chat of a different streamer. Talking about puns like that. Someone in the chat said, "Oh, I got COVID last week, so I can't taste anything, and that's why I'm watching your stream."
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. So I guess it's then palatable. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I can finally take what you're given. All right.
I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like AI is like almost like a child that you have to raise or what have you, and kind of like depending on where the household that child is raised, like determines how it ends up. So, yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
I think, yeah.
Let's see if this starts now, because I'm not sure why it's not starting. Okay.
Huh? Don't even know what that means.
It means that I have a postmaster PID somewhere.
Okay.
Let's see the server settings. Let me show this. Postmaster PID. This one I need to delete.
You just randomly delete. Okay, all right. Well,
no, it's the PID is a process identifier, so it's just a text file that keeps an integer of a process.
Okay.
There's nothing else in there.
So that's why you're starting a new one. It didn't know what to do with the old one.
I had some issues with my what? Why open terminal for this? Oh, because it was inside the Postgres. I don't want this. I want to close this, and I want to go to Postico as a client. There you go. I had some issues with my computer, and I had to restart it, and I think that didn't close PostgreSQL server correctly, and it left that file in there. So if you have that file, it assumes the server is already running, so it's not trying to trigger the process again.
Okay, it didn't get a chance to clean up everything. Okay.
Yeah. Usually that cleans itself, but sometimes if there's a problem with your server or with your computer, it just doesn't work. So, yeah. Anyway, I want to show you this. So the timestamp without time zone, it's effectively this. Oops, I just deleted. So it's just a timestamp like that, right? It has milliseconds as well, but it doesn't have a time zone in it.
Okay.
And you just make the assumption that it's always UTC, so you have a standard, and then frameworks like Rails, for example, does that automatically for you.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's based usually on the system time zone. And also if you have someone coming from a different time zone, when they select something, they select inside their time zone, so it's kind of gets converted, and you can specify how to adapt. It has some utility methods that can transform a time into a different time into the time in a different time zone automatically.
Really, from the client.
It's based. Well, you need to give it the data. Usually, store it in the database. So sometimes you what time zone are you? You select it from the database, and then in your server, you just use that all the time to push data through. It's not in the client. I mean, you could potentially do it in the client with JavaScript.
See, and that's all because I've been looking to maybe create. I know GitHub has like these different time because web components. I'm always thinking web components, and so GitHub has a time web components. And what it does is it'll say like how long ago, like all the how many seconds ago and the time stuff. Those are all web components on GitHub.
Someone is happy about web components.
Yep. It was
Hey, Ben.
And so, so they kind of like
one web component. That's not how web components work, Ben. one web component type to rule them all.
But yeah, I was thinking about because I'm not sure if they have one where it'll convert your whatever is coming from your server into like the local time, like the client time zone.
So you could potentially if you use like a time tag, for example, and you specify it in a format that you can understand automatically, potentially can go through with JavaScript and just change them dynamically on the fly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, to create a so it'll do all the conversion stuff just within the web component, so you don't have to do that.
I think you're missing Bitcoin there, Ben. You just say Bitcoin with Ruby on Rails on web components, and you have all the keywords.
I would invest in that.
Yeah, Luke is asking, you mean Vue.js? Does Vue.js do that, Luke, automatically? GameStop. GameStop on Rails, yes.
I think you can create web I think there's like a library where you can create web components with Vue.js, I think, or something.
Yeah. Cool. So going back to again to this, that's the table I've created. So it's in the init script. So you're supposed to run this when you install the stuff. We're going to create some README instructions so people will have it. But the idea is you end up with a table that you can populate, and this is an example of a event that came through. So you have a conversation, the from member to member, the ID, the type is text, and then the content. Right, and then so that's what I did here. So with the event type text, this is what you get from the server when you send a text.
Alrighty.
Right, so you need to.
Oh yeah, timestamp is that? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Here you see it's always UTC because that's how we store our
Seeing
stuff.
it now reminds me that okay, it is in that format.
Yeah, and it's the Z at the end that has a time zone, so we don't care about the time zone. We just always assume it's UTC in our stuff. And obviously,
so now,
you can.
Sorry, but so when you put it into the database, did it get rid of the Z or was the
yes.
Z there? Really? Oh,
no,
okay.
it's not in there. It gets rid of it because it gets translated into whatever it needs in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Another danger here is if you I think if you run it in your server on your local machine, you'll get a different result. And this is not how you should do it because you would put it like this. If you put it like this on your local server or local database, right? When you get it out, it will assume that this is the time in the time zone where you are.
Yeah.
So this is where the problems start arising. So usually, probably it's always better to put it in timestamp with time zone and just keep it to UTC all the time.
Okay.
But always have time zone. It's just an extra information for the data there.
Okay.
But this is something that people will have to do it in their own backends, in their own servers. This is just a proof of concept. So that's kind of the idea behind it. Cool. So we have all that stuff coming through. So technically we have everything. What I want to do today is to create a synchronization script that will work and kind of get all the data in. And the purpose of that is when you start kind of your server, you already have conversations, you already have things. So you want to pre-populate that, not have that happening on the fly when you require it.
Okay.
Right? So remember I wrote a little script here that synchronizes users. I just want to create a similar, where is it? Package.json. Yeah. I always get confused because I have the other folders as well. So I have this sync that synchronizes users. I want to rename this to sync users and then the other one sync conversations.
Okay.
So because you want to run them at different times. Okay. So can I do this and have a space in there? Is that possible? Let's try it.
You might need like a hyphen. I'm not sure if that.
Terminal. npm run sync users.
Yeah, try putting a hyphen in between them.
Here?
Yeah.
Because it's considered like a separate identifier, right? So it's looking for sync.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not.
No such file. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Let's go back to this. I'm in the wrong folder because we have a backend here, right?
Yeah.
So now it should. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it doesn't work. It needs a hyphen, just like I said.
Yeah, because I think it means it's passing in some sort of information into it or something.
Yeah, so it's looking for sync, and then the users. I'm guessing it's a parameter.
Yeah.
Can we actually? How can we consume that parameter?
When you send, you'd have to, I think, do something in your script
because it'll be nice to do sync users and then he have sync conversations or something.
Well, I mean, just kind of like how we have like colon or something like that. I think you can do. I'd have
actually,
to look it up.
That'll be too much. So I'll do sync users here. Then I'll do the same thing for sync conversations. So I'll do it like this.
Unless somebody in the chat room knows, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to something in the process, like listen for it or something like,
Yeah. So this will become sync users, right? So let's test it first. Sync, oops. Yep, it updates all the users. Cool.
Is it?
And then
is it waiting on something or? Oh,
yeah,
okay,
I'm not sure. Yeah, it just hangs for some. It's probably a wait method somewhere that I didn't close properly. And then I'm gonna create this sync conversation, right? Come on. So this is inside scripts here. So what I'm gonna do. So this one will be very similar to this one, right? So so I'm gonna put synchronizing users in here. So this will be synchronizing conversations. So I can do com like that.
Cool.
Yeah. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to the right, and then I can do this. So it's easier to see things side by side, because we're going to get a lot of output here. Cool. So let's do the same thing here. Okay. I guess I need to do the same thing, because I can't run a wait directly at the top level, so I need to do it like this.
Yeah, I think that's coming soon. Something so.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do it like this. Sync all conversations. So this will be conversations. I don't think conversations has sync.
Yeah, I think it's been made.
But let's see. Oh, it has sync members. Okay, but we want to have a sync for everything.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's actually do that. So we have sync members here. I'm going to do one in here. Just going to call it sync. Sync all. Did we call it sync all or just sync?
Call it
sync.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put it sync. So I'll just comment that out so we don't get errors. I've created some some shortcuts with Alfred. So now I have GCLS, and it does that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Because I was a bit bored of typing, and I think I have JCL log like that. Yeah, and then it's just an object if you want to display it like that.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I think if you're doing an object, you may want to try console.dir. That's something that Michael.dir, dir. I think it breaks up your object.
Okay. I don't need a Vonage ID here, right? Because I'm synchronizing all of them. I see what you mean. Yeah. I think I saw this somewhere.
Probably Michael. He does it a lot.
So that actually goes through the entire object and kind of displays. We can actually use it in a second.
Yeah.
Cool. So we can actually run it here and see how it's going. If we obviously something didn't work. Did DB conversation sync? Oh, we didn't expose sync, did we?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so let's start building. So I think we're done with this one. I'm actually a bit skeptical of the naming, because it's when you do sync, it just is like it's syncing just one. But then again, you don't pass a parameter, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you sync, depending on you kind of define how big or small. So sync is just to make things match. So I guess regardless of if it's like one thing or a million things, you're still syncing.
That's true. Okay, cool. So we're happy with that one as well. So now we're just working here in the conversation, right? So what do we need to do in sync here? Why does it say all users? It should say all conversations. Also, why do I have this thing?
That came from, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to try to take it off here. Yeah. So, cool. Cool. That sounds good. Okay, so what do we have in here? We have get, we have create, we have update, destroy, and sync members. We don't have get all conversations.
Well, yeah.
So actually, we don't need get all conversations because this will be from the database, right? So what we'll need to do is actually get all from Vonage.
Yes.
So here we'll have Vonage conversations is vonage.conversations. Let's see. What's this sync doing here? Let's see what it does. Do we have a sync already in the Vonage one?
Oh, maybe.
This is where kind of the stuff that I changed will be different. So get is retrieving.
We're looking for sync, right?
Wait. Yeah, but there is no sync.
Go back to there. So
Vonage conversation sync. I had a pre-fill on sync. So that's strange.
Wait, is that in there or would that be somewhere else? That Vonage, because it was capital V Vonage.
Yeah, that Vonage is actually it's the import here.
Oh, okay. And that's where you were? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So maybe it just got confused, but let's make sure. So Vonage has an index. It has get Vonage conversations here. It's not inside the conversations. This was before we created the separation. So I think what I want to do is move this into the conversations. And this is why I have a sync, I think, in here.
Well, that looks like it's getting users, right? Or
no, it's users conversations. It's getting all the conversations
for the users. Yeah.
Hold on. This is not right.
Yeah.
But hold on. How do we get the conversations? We can't get all conversations for an applications, right?
Unless you're an admin, I think. I think you can if you're an admin.
Oh, you can. Yeah, I have a POR file here. It's tiny. I don't think I can make it bigger. But you have vo3/conversations, and that'll get you all the conversations.
Yeah, for the application. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to just start adding things in here. So so this is in the Vonage. So I'm going to add
like a
get all. Right. So this will be the get all. I'll add it in here. Then in the data, I'm going to use get all.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do, so it's a console dir Vonage conversations. Okay. So
now I think because in your get all there, you're passing conversation ID. You probably want to take that out.
Yeah. Yes, of course. Okay. So we can copy some of this stuff from here. I'm guessing.
Yeah, so I guess there's like conversations.
Yeah. We don't need this. Yeah, this should say conversations. Actually, I'm just going to call it conversations like that. Then you have conversations. I don't need conversation ID here. It's just conversations.
Yeah.
We have a vo3 as a URL. Cool. And then you have the data. And the data is actually, if you look at the data here, you can't see it much, but we have embedded and then conversations in there, right? So so in here we have data dot embedded conversations. That.
All right. In Vonage conversations or just conversations?
It's conversations.
Oh yeah, on 23, on line 23.
Yeah, and return here as well. That looks good, right?
Yes. Let's see how that goes.
Cool. Okay, let's run it. Make this a bit. Get all. It needs an async. Sorry, an await.
Wait.
Yeah. So I saw this video of I can't find it now, but it was so funny of a kid trying to get his garbage bin into his driveway. And the wind was blowing really hard and always smacking the lid onto his head.
Okay.
And I just laughed my face off, and I thought that's exactly how a sync await works. You just use it for a while, and then just you forget to use it. Bang! It's gonna hit you in the head. It doesn't work. And then you learn, and you put it back, and then somewhere else is gonna again.
Yep, and that's pretty much coding in general. Like
Yeah.
the computer is like.
Why is it not getting stuff?
Wait. Oh, you got the same thing. Let me see.
Yeah. Let's see. So, but it doesn't. Hold on. Vonage conversations get all. Do I need to do it like this? Oops.
Oh, parentheses. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
For it to actually activate. Yeah.
There you go. So we have conversations in there.
Is that's a cool thing with a dir. Like it's just you don't have to like open it up or anything. Like you just.
I like this a lot. I like this a lot. And also it displays things nicely. I mean, it doesn't go into all the details.
Yeah, it doesn't go.
The Stringify does it,
yeah.
but it's not. I mean, the difference is. Let's actually.
You should be able to do string. Yeah. But will it? I think it might. Oh, we'll see.
No, it should. It should do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just going to be one big string. So let's see how it works.
Yeah, it's like that, but you can see all the details, right?
Yeah.
It's not. But the their stuff is actually. It's a string log, but it wouldn't matter because it's just a string. But this one is way better. Can you do things like this? We can say Vonage conversations, and then sorry, can you do that? Because that way you know exactly what.
Oh yeah, I did that all the time. Yeah.
Oh no, it just displays the first one.
Oh, because of dir. My bad. I thought you were doing console log. Yeah.
No. I thought just to kind of have a bit of a thing. So it only displays the first one. That's fine. I mean, you can use the console log above or something if you really want to know where you are. Cool. So let's have a look in order, right? So one other thing that I've just noticed here, we're returning conversations in error.
Yeah.
So we should do the same thing here, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Kind of split it up.
So if not Vonage conversations, return. Maybe console log something first.
Well, if there is no conversation, there's probably an error, right? So did you want to send an error?
Yeah, I'm going to put the error in here.
Yeah.
I'm just going to display it because I'm going to use JSON stringify here. JSON stringify and put the error in here. That and then return. So that way we're using the golden path. So always, get rid of the shortest path. Cool. And then we need to loop through the arrays, right? Through Vonage conversations. So have 4. Is it like
it depends on, like it all kind of depends because you could do like what was it like 4 of and 4. There's so many different ways, but yeah, like 4.
How do you do the Vonage conversation for each?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like there's a bunch of different ways.
Okay, like that, right?
I mean, but see that gives you. Remember we had a problem before, and it like with different promises, and then we had to do the.
Yeah, but here we shouldn't have promises because it's just a hash.
Okay. Right? Well, no, it creates promises. That's what I'm saying. Like for each, like everything is like a promise.
I don't think it's a promise in here.
When you do it for each, well,
is it?
I think so.
Okay. Let's see what we have in here.
Yeah, I just do regular for loops. Like for me, that's just a lot easier. And
okay. I'm trying to see how much I can break it. So, okay, something is not right. Error undefined. Vonage conversations. If not Vonage conversations. So hold on. Previously we had the right conversation. So
I think it's because you didn't call it conversations. I think it has to be the same name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe so.
So it effectively decomposes this. That
Because it
makes
goes by
sense, actually.
it goes by the key.
That makes sense because, you effectively send out an object that has two keys, one conversation, one error, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. I always forget that. Oops. Okay. So, this are the conversations in here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna do the individual one, right? So, so if Vonage conversation dot ID, you want to see if you can get it from the database, right? So we have a get here. I don't want to do the fallback, so I'll just get it.
Okay.
Do we want to go as far as just calling create? Because create looks, if you have it, it just returns it. It doesn't create again. So that way it just creates it if it doesn't have it.
Okay.
What does update do? Oh, in fact, you can actually use update. So update, if you have it, it updates it. If you don't have it, it just creates it. So we can use update.
Okay.
And for the update, we want this stuff. So I like that decomposition stuff that it's available here. So basically this. And then you call the update. I'm just going to leave it like that so I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Equal Vonage conversation. Yeah. I need to change it anyway because it uses different keys. So this is the ID, that's the name, the display name we don't have in some cases, and then created at is timestamp.
Oh, and then state. Do we have a
state? Oh, interesting. Why do we have a state on the conversation? Let me have a look at the response from Paul. So in Paul here, why did we add a state to the conversation? I can't remember. It might be that actually in here, in the get, you have a state.
Yeah.
So I think what we need to do is actually loop through it and get the conversation for each one and then update it in the database, rather than using it from the list because you don't have all the data for that conversation. So
Okay.
we're getting the list to get all the conversations, then go in each one and get the full thing, so you get the state.
Well, wait. So the list is coming from Vonage, is what you're saying first, right? The list that you're saying.
So the list is coming from Vonage, but it has that light representation of a conversation.
Yeah. So there's no state. Yeah. So what you want to do is get that and then check it with what's in the database.
And then no. Then what I want to do is to literally get the conversation using get from here.
Okay.
Because this will get you the full conversation.
Okay. And so you just want to get state from that.
Yeah. So we have exactly the same thing. So in this case, we're actually returning Vonage conversation in here, while in here we return just conversations. Should I make it consistent?
Well, now, wouldn't that be a lot, though? Like, let's say if you had a whole lot of...
Sorry, what do you mean?
Because you're calling Vonage for each one of those individual conversations to just get the state.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you get the full list, you get some other details in here. When you get the conversation, right? So you get the other properties in case you need them and so on. So I think it's just a good practice, and this one doesn't have to be fast. So you can do as many API calls as you want because it's something that happens in the background.
Okay.
So so I've actually changed this to say Vonage conversations. So that means I need to change it in here to say Vonage conversations. I like this better actually because it tells you what type of conversations you have, right? It's not the database you want. Okay, so in here, what I want to do is I want to do exactly the same thing as this one. And this will say, so I'm going to use conv here as a temporary stuff. And then in here, I'm going to pass it conv.id. And this will return Vonage conversation and an error.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So let's console dir here and see what we're getting. This should get more than just this stuff here that we have on the right. You should get the additional details for a conversation. Okay. Oh, this is the problem we have with the weight here because it's for each. Yep.
So you could try putting a sync in front of conv. Let me see something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you need to make it as a like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess kind of.
It's what do you call it in JavaScript? Is an anonymous function.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So there you go. You get the extra details in case you have the properties as the extra details. Some of them have other stuff as well.
Yeah, maybe like sequence.
Maybe not. Yeah, you see this one has, this is the one that I've been using for testing and it has stuff. This one has 3, but this one has 0 because nothing had happened. Literally no members, nothing. But to get the state, which is what we wanted. Do we want to check if we have ID here?
Oh, you mean you probably, yeah.
So can we do things like if not conversation, conv.id. Do you have something like next or return? It's return, isn't it? It's in a method. Okay. And then what we want is to take some stuff out, right? So we have ID, we have name, we have display name, we have a state, and the timestamp.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we want to check if those exist. So if not ID, or not name, or not state, or not timestamp.
We're gonna have they call it nullish coalescence or something like that.
Yes.
Where you just put like instead of like the double things, you could put like 2 question marks, or if you want it's
yeah. That would be nice.
Yeah, I think that was ES 2020. I think it's in like 80% of browsers. Like it's in newer browsers, but just in case.
Yeah. So in here we're passing ID, name, display name, and timestamp created.
Hey, XE.
Hey, XE. Welcome. Right on time. Cool. I'm gonna close this. Yeah, that looks good, right? So I'm gonna do a console. I need to add a shortcut for this one. Actually, let's add it right now. I might as well. So preferences, features, snippets. Let's see, which one do we want? We want JavaScript, and then in here we're gonna add another one that is console there, and then the keyword is there. All CD maybe, if we don't have this one. So it's console.there, and then in here I can put the cursor in there automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
But it might be like it's conflicting with something else. Yeah. I already had console there in here.
Oh, okay. You're ahead of your time.
So I'm gonna delete this one. So where's console there now?
Go down. Oh wait, we're just okay.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, because you
had. Cool. So actually now I can do JKD console there. Yeah, conversation. Awesome. Let's see how this works. So I'm gonna turn this off, so I don't see. Maybe actually we can have both. So we're gonna have pairs of what we get from the API and what we get from the database. It's a promise. Okay, we need a wait here.
Oh, yeah.
Something is not happening properly. Yeah, so you see you get this one and then the updated stuff. And I think all of this comes from a database. Display name is null because we didn't have a display name. But if we have a display name here, the display name is not null. Hold on, it's wrong.
Well, they're promises, so they probably take a while to.
I see. So it's not kind of synced.
Yeah, because you go ahead and do the for each stuff, and then so the for each stuff happens. They're promises.
Yeah.
Once they so that's yeah.
So I can actually look at this, try and find it, right? Yeah. So it has the display name there. Yeah, that's fine. Cool. Yeah, I think we're good. So this one is the conversation. So I'm gonna turn off this one and this one. Right. So this is sync. We have, and after that we want to do sync members, right? So we can actually call just this. So we can call await sync members. Oops. And then we're passing the ID.
So then, okay. So you want to, okay. So while you're doing the conversations, also do the members.
Yeah, because so we're looping through the conversations, and for each one we're going to get their full details, and then we're going to go and get the members, and we're not going to do the iteration, right? So in a normal environment, again, if you have more than 100 results, you would go and kind of loop, right? So when you get the lists in the API, in here you get some links. Sorry, in here you will get some links, right? And if you have more than I'm not sure how much you can see here. I'm sorry, I've changed my resolution as well, trying to get it a bit better. But so this one will have different links for the next set of results and so on.
So I guess we'd have to check if it's there and then run it again or whatever.
Yeah. So you iterate. So basically here, what you say, you get the whole stuff. You get the Vonage conversations. I would probably return the next URL here, or has next or something. And if it exists, you do it again and go to the next one and so on.
And then right there on your line 115, like if you don't need the conversation, you can just put await, just like how you have it on 117.
Oh yeah, good point. Good point. Yeah. Cool. So this is sync members. What else do we want to do in a conversation? So this doesn't do anything, right? It should say sync members. What else do we have in a conversation? Let's have a look at the API. What did that appear? Let's see here. So we have members and then we have events. So we want to synchronize events as well. That's actually a good point. Do we want to synchronize members? Because all the members will be in events as well.
Yeah, but
the members will have a current status of a member rather than us having to infer based on the ID. So I would actually go for the members, and then when I list events, I'll just look for the text, nothing else.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. Because you don't. Yeah, because if you're gonna get members from events anyway, and you're. Yeah, because sometimes, like, if the member leaves, they're no longer there.
Yeah, but imagine if we only based on events, and you get the member leave event first, and then you get the member join event after that.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's possible. We usually get them in order, but you never know. So you always have to have that order in mind.
Okay. So the text has the members and stuff, but it doesn't have their status, does it? Or
it does have a status, yes.
Okay.
The member. Yeah. Okay. So let's add sync events as well.
So are you going to get rid of members, sync members, or
no? We're just gonna keep the sync members, but for events, we're just gonna.
No, when you're syncing everything, the conversations, are you going to sync members also, or just sync events? Because on line 117, you're still syncing members.
Yeah, I want members and events.
Okay.
So I'm going to use members for the members, and events I'm going to use it just for the text.
Okay.
Because I can't infer necessarily from each event the status of a member.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay,
okay,
because I thought you were saying that text has the status of the members. Okay, yeah, because I was wondering. Okay.
Let's not do this. We're just going to assume that it's there. I'm going to do this and do the same thing here. Oh. So should we test it? See if it's working.
Yeah,
if it doesn't break anything.
All right, there we go. So we sync members, cool. Sync events.
So yeah, so that's what we need to do. Cool. Now, what I would actually want to do is to separate those and have a sync events in the members. Sorry, sync members in the members file, and events in the events file, right? Just to have that separation. So,
hey, sorry, real quick, like your thing had like 12 seconds there. Does that normally pop up? Because I don't remember in mine, like if I ever run anything.
I don't know why. I was trying to understand why he's doing that, and I can't understand why he's doing that.
Maybe it's like a plugin or something. Because I don't think mine does that.
Because it does the whole thing and then just hangs.
Oh no, I mean the actual 12 seconds next.
No, because it's most of that time is waiting, right? So look how fast it's happening, and then it just waits.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I was talking about the actual 1-2s, like literally saying 12 seconds. Like how long it took to run. Like right there. I don't think mine does that. So I didn't know.
I think this is a prompt thing. I can't remember where I got it from.
Okay.
But you can time out how much a certain operation takes.
Oh, that's cool.
I can actually let me do this off screen because I'm not entirely sure where it is.
Derail you or anything?
No. That's fine.
Cool. Like,
let me see how I have it set up, and I'll share it with you. It's nothing magical. It's just stuff that you find on the internet. Okay. Okay. So it's actually something called prompt.init. So this is my ZSHRC. So it's a plugin that you can have for the ZHS for the terminal.
That's cool.
Let's see where it is. ZHS. I think it's this one. Yeah, so you can set some basic things in there. And I think there's a default. Maybe actually it's not this one. I saw a link, the next one in the list. DuckDuckGo is not that good most of the time, especially for geeky stuff, but can I call it ZHS now? You can if you want to. If you pronounce it as an acronym, because there are acronyms, right? It's ZSH. Or Z if you're on the other side of a pond.
Well, he's saying it sounds much classier than ZSH.
Yeah. So it's basically this stuff that I've added and automatically adds for. You can install it like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it automatically adds stuff. Yeah, it's just when you have too much time on your hand, you start making things like that. Cool. Okay, so now we need the sync for the members and sync for the events. So I'm going to go to the members here. Let's see what we have in the members. So we have, we have get, invited, status update. We don't have. Oh, we are in the data, right? So. Do we want to put the sync in the data member? Let's try and think for a second. What do we want to put the sync? Does that belong in the member? So you say I want to sync this member. I guess it does, right? Because you want to go for each member and say, oh, this member is not up to date. Let me synchronize it, and they'll do just one call. Oh. But in the same time, it's a /conversations/ID/members. So that is actually in the context of a conversation. You get all the members. So you don't get individual members, but you get a collection of members.
So yeah, so
right?
when you get the collection of members, will it have the same information as if you were to get the individual members? No, right? It'd be like
It depends if it has enough that for what we need.
Yeah.
So this one has the ID, has the state, and then it has the embedded user stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you get it, you get other stuff like the initiator, the media, and all the other things.
Yeah.
I think for what we need, the list is enough.
The lighter version, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you said when you get the lighter version from conversations, the members, it has the status or no?
It has the status, yes.
Okay, then
It has
yeah,
the
that's
state,
probably, that's probably because we want to check that most likely.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we care about,
Yeah.
to be honest, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
So I'd much rather do it, I guess, from there than each individual, because that's just more calls and longer.
So in that case, we're gonna keep it in the conversations, right?
Yeah.
So in here, now the question is, if you keep it in the conversation, do we keep it in the conversations in the Vonage struct as well? So the Vonage part is the one that does the API calls. So in here, we have get all, get, and that's it. And then in members, we have, we don't have anything because I don't think we build anything in here. So in the members, we have, it's kind of up to us. So do we want to keep it inside the conversation? So we have vonage.conversations.get members, and then we pass the conversation ID. I guess it makes sense, right?
Yeah, because it's less calls, right?
But I was thinking, where do you want to put that function? Do we want to put it in the conversations file or in the members file?
Well, I think it would be in the conversations.
That's what I'm thinking as well, yeah. Because it'll be very similar to the get.
Because it's coming from, because it's part of like the conversations, like it's
So we're gonna call it get members.
Now, like if we wanted to like change a member's name or something, or display name, then I think that would be in the members.
I agree. Yeah. X is saying some of my all my ZHS themes have command execution time baked in the prompt. Let's go to that URL and see. Can I select it? I can't select it for some reason here.
Oh no.
I need to go to StreamYard and kind of get it from there. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so it has the timestamps here and stuff. Yeah,
that's cool.
So yeah, the link in the chat is actually good. Thank you, Exi, for that. That's very useful. Cool.
Well, I don't do anything. Exi, everything I do is just out of the box. Like I don't customize a thing. So yeah. So I mean, but that's cool to see how long the previous command took.
Yeah.
I do nothing to.
So in here we need /members, and it's exactly the same call. It just has /members. And let's have a look at the output. So this will be conversation /members, and then we have embedded members, right? So it's exactly the same thing as the other one. So data.embedded.members. Here probably we should check if that exists before we return it. Actually, let's be good citizens and do exactly that.
Again, and once whatchamacallit happens, you'd also be able to just put like how you have response, you'd be able to put like double question marks one question mark dot, then data question mark dot embedded. So that's going to be kind of nice.
Yeah, that's how optionals work in Swift and other languages. Okay. So question mark means if you have null, just don't do anything after that.
Yep.
Just kind
of like double. Yeah, it's pretty. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, so it's oops, I think I have an extra thing there. It's basically just early execution based on the nullability of a certain data. Okay, so this we have Vonage members. If we have members and blah blah blah, cool. So I think we're good with this. Did we expose it? And we didn't expose it.
No.
Oops. Get members. Okay, so in here, we want to do.
Hey, thanks for following DJ Silvab. Are you DJ? What do you spin? You have vinyl? What's going on? Just saying. That's how.
It's another DJ in the house.
Well, he'd be the only DJ. I'm not a DJ, so I'm
you're a DJ and you're very modest. You're a modest DJ. You're DJ modest.
No, I press play and talk mess on the radio. There's no.
That sounds like a DJ to me.
No, there's like no mixing at all. There's like the 2-second gaps and everything.
I see. I see. Cool. Okay. So you don't do any scratching.
Nope. I'll leave that for the professionals.
So this will be vonage.conversations.getMembers and then Vonage ID. So let's do there on the Vonage members. See, it's catchy. It's catchy, Dwane.
Whenever inevitably needs a new one because Twitter and I are
it's amazing how people come up with different names, kind of stage names, right? So DJ something, and we were watching this weekend. What's it called? It's a show. It's like X Factor, but it's not X Factor. Where it's like kind of blind audition and
so
anyway, it's with Tom Jones and other people kind of in the jury,
like America's Got Talent or
and will.i.am. It's called The Voice.
Yes, there you go, The Voice. Yes.
Yeah. So there was this particular guy. Made the first site. This particular guy that was really, really good rapper, and his handle was Broken Pencil, and I thought it's such a nice handle.
I mean, I guess when you write so much, you just kind of
that's exactly it. Yeah, it was really, I really like that handle.
Let's talk about hip hop real quick. So De La Soul.
Yeah, of course.
So they're on the new Teen Titans Go cartoon. Like they're appearing as themselves in the cartoon, and it's kind of awesome. So
nice.
I don't know if that's long. I don't know if that's too long for Twitter.
Isn't De La Soul with Back to Life, Back to Reality, or not?
That's not. That's Soul to Soul.
Soul to Soul.
Yeah, De La Soul is Me, Myself, and I. Potholes in my lawn. What you may know,
potholes in your lawn.
Yeah, speaking about potholes, bringing it all back around. Like I'm trying to think what other songs you may know, but they're steadily. I think their last album may have been like 4 years ago or something. So they're still putting stuff out. It's kind of amazing. And this big Kickstarter campaign for like one of their last albums, and that came out as pretty. So they're it's pretty good, so it's kind of amazing. No, I'm not singing it. You can look it up on YouTube. De La Soul, Me, Myself, and I. And then Saturdays is another good one. They got a lot of good joints. Jams.
Oh, yes, of course. I remember them.
But it's cool.
I'm going to show you just this. I'm not going to play it, but...
The first is a good album. There's the two of them. The Anonymous Nobody is like one of their latest ones. And that's the one they kickstarted.
I see.
First Serve is the two guys, and they it's like a whole like story thing, kind of.
Yeah.
So they're
nice.
Yeah, so they're the Teen Titans Go. So
very nice,
reaching a whole new generation.
Yeah, isn't it funny how things are kind of generational, like. Things coming back, like all the baseball cards and stuff like that seems to like it's revitalized now. Yeah, almost a generation after the previous peak.
I think I saw that like where people like since they have like kind of like nowhere to go now, like they're spending time with their kids and maybe breaking out the baseball cards or like the Pokemon cards now and stuff. And it's kind of like, hey.
But I think it was before the pandemic. I think it takes a generation for people to have enough money to invest in it and kind of being a cyclical thing. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, like seeing like when you grow up and then you have money.
Look at Ben. Ben, you need to get some kids to see what it means before you say it's a horror. If you think it's a horror.
Oh, nice. You got a VR headset. All right.
Which one did you get, Ben? Quest 2. Is that the Facebook one?
I think so. Yes.
Why do people want Facebook to track everything, including what they see?
That's thing. Are there other ones really that are out there?
Yeah. HTC Vive is really good, and it's a completely different game because it's actually you need a proper powered computer to actually drive it. So the
Quest 2, can that be by itself? I think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably There's one game. It's almost like Fortnite, but like first person, and you're like running around and stuff.
I like that Ben is blaming someone else. Sorry, Ben, I didn't mean it like that. I was just being sarcastic and being really impolite, so I didn't mean it like that.
I think that's going to help with the whole VR stuff. Like once people can actually kind of like experience it, then they're like, "Oh, I need this. This is great."
I think it's still at least 5 years away. I think this is what X is saying.
Oh wow!
So this requires a computer, and it has base stations there. So those are the ones that track things.
Yeah,
oh, this is the one I read something interesting about it. Is it because the helmet actually, not the helmet, the visor, in order to go over the ears, it kind of goes like that and then down a bit, kind of the stuff at the back. And it's interesting because it's exactly how you have, because the eyes are slightly higher than the ear. Mm-hmm. So when you have it's interesting to see the different kind of design decisions the different manufacturers make just to make it a bit more easy to use, because you don't want to have your ears kind of pressed by the band that takes it to the back. Ben is saying that VR is the worst lockdown you ever been shooting zombies. Yeah. It's really good. So I had
be careful around your apartment. You might walk into a wall or something. Just be careful.
Yeah. I tell you what, if you put it on and you put the headphones on and you get the proper isolation, the sense of vertigo when you go on some on top of the mountains it's so crazy how real it is.
Yeah. See. Yeah. Your brain doesn't understand. Like. Yeah. Because I've seen one where it's like almost like parkour, I guess, and like you're walking on this thing and you're like however many stories up. I'm like, why would you even want to simulate that? That's just frightening.
It's the same way people go to amusement parks. Why do you go on a thing that flies through the air at 80 miles an hour? When you have a tiny chance.
People are messy. Like it's
humans.
Cool. This is like trick your brain. It's amazing.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. If you kind of cover your senses and you have enough things to kind of take your mind away, it's incredibly interesting how easy it is to fool your brain into thinking that it's a real thing.
Said they watched a basketball game on an Oculus. So we're like from the stands, like were you in the stands, like if you were to actually watch one, or were you?
That's an interesting use of it. I think having that first-hand experience is crazy. It's like basically you're courtside at a game.
Oculus escape room games. Huh. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I might actually, Dwane, this is interesting. I might get my HTC Vive out one day and kind of do it on the stream. And I used to use it a lot of times.
That's cool. It has the camera so you can see, and that's cool in front of you.
Yeah, and it has the see-through as well, so you can enable camera so you can see outside. But it's interesting to see. So the one I have is the wrong window. The HTC. I don't have the Pro. I have just I think it's probably 5 years old as well, or 4 years old. This one I have. Yeah, 2016. So it's fairly. And it requires a computer, so you can't just use it like that. But it's really interesting. What's really, really interesting with it is you have different experiences. Like you can paint in 3D.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, okay, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen some people do some pretty cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually saying that you get infinite screen when you program on a VR desktop. Yeah, I don't know, because you still need to move your head, so you're probably going to have a lot of neck pains.
I need to a. What would be cool is the 2FA if you had like sword battle something in order to be able to pass through to be able to use something.
Yeah. I'll tell you something even better, Ben, than 2FA in VR. Video API in VR.
So Jason Eric Davis was saying that. So yeah, so they were sitting in the stands, and then there's other Oculus users in the same section. You could talk to them. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think I just gave Michael something to do. I think the proximity conversation is really, really interesting, Jason, because that opens it up to a lot of good uses.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like being with your friends at a game.
Yes, that's cool.
Or even strangers, to be honest. But being in the same place with some other humans, I think adds a lot of stuff to it. A lot of interesting kind of dimensions to it.
So now, were you like courtside?
Yeah.
Like, because the thing is, like, I don't want to have to buy a whole thing and still be up in like the nosebleed sections. That would still be horrible.
Nosebleed section.
Why would I buy it to do that?
What do you mean by nosebleed section?
Oh, like when you're super far up, like if you're watching the game and then you're all the way in the back. And you can,
so why is it called nosebleed?
Oh, because it's so high up. Like
I see.
And,
yeah.
But yeah, like
interesting.
Okay, because you have like infinitely long, I guess, or whatever court side. It's just interesting. You get to pick. Oh
yeah, but it's interesting because you can have groups of people being in the same place, right? It's not just you being in that place. So it can be you and your friends being there together, and then you have another group kind of being there together again. Hey, Greg.
Yeah, saying you can pick behind the basket or courtside at half.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, Greg. Welcome to the VR show. We tend to get distracted quite easily. We live up to our kind of expectation.
I mean, we got a lot of stuff done, though. I mean, we did get quite a few things done.
Yeah. I definitely think the VR we should do some stuff with VR and the client SDK once we kind of finish with the project we're working on.
Yeah, no, I've always been interested in like web VR, web AR, or web XR, as they call it.
You see, that one I don't know because so the VR on the web, it feels like it don't have enough power in the browser to do that, and you need specialized hardware and specialized software to do that.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of that is going to be on your phone or whatever because it's kind of like it has to be portable anyway, and phones are getting more and more powerful. And so
but then again you get yourself kind of bottlenecked by the browser, whatever it's available in that browser, right? Or JavaScript or whatever.
Well, they have like WebAssembly coming up and things. So I've seen some pretty amazing things that you could do with like WebAssembly.
Yeah.
But it's going to take some time. But like
of course,
AR, like I don't know, like some Google Maps, like you're able to kind of like when you want to find a place, you can actually like you can pull up AR mode, and you'll see like little arrows pointing. So as you're like looking around,
just 1 second, I'm gonna take my screen off because I want to look for something and I want to show you. Oops, not this one. This one. Keep talking.
And there's one like there's like a fox or something running around, kind of like showing you where to go. So you kind of like the phone, and so it doesn't work while you're walking because they don't want you walking in the traffic or whatever. So it's like you walk a little bit and then you pull up and then look, and then there's like, there's a fox running that way. So you go and follow the fox or something. Pretty cool. So stuff like that, I think, is going to be kind of.
Yeah, I had a video that I filmed when I was at last time at the WWDC. I went to the Apple campus and they had an AR experience where they had their campus, but you can go with an iPad and look around, and it will show you kind of in real world what it was.
Yeah.
But I can't find it for some reason.
Yeah, being able to kind of like hold up and then looking at a building and then seeing maybe like the schedule of the things happening in that building.
Yeah.
I don't know about walking around with like an iPad. That seems like a kind of a whole thing.
No, that was a kind of fixed thing in there. So it was Yeah, I think I found it here. Let me see if I can. First of all, I need to check it to make sure that's the right thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be playing like any random videos on there.
No. So it's this thing, right? So they had this is inside the
Oh,
Apple shop.
So it was, okay.
It's inside the Apple shop next to the Apple campus. You know, the big one, the mothership as they call it now. And they give you this iPad. So basically, the sales rep were there giving you iPads that had this software installed. And what you could do is you can, I think you can probably see it here. It shows you different things. And this is when I don't think the campus was done entirely. Oh, look, there you
go. Okay.
So you can see things happening, but they use the pointers on the map to kind of drive it around, obviously, right? Because you're moving in space there.
That's cool. Like one of the best ones I've seen was like Minecraft in like real world. Like you could actually do Minecraft in the real world. Like that, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I think Apple had a couple of times I had a demo with Legos, exactly like this in real world. But you can see different things. You can see the car park and stuff, and
all the little things are moving and stuff.
Yeah, and you can go really, really into it and kind of check different things. And you can see the different. Can you hear the audio?
Oh no, but I just saw like the time, like they're changing the time and everything.
Yeah, so you can see the sunrise, and it's crazy how they did it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
You can see the mountains there as well.
Yeah. Huh.
It can do all sorts of crazy things with AR. Yeah.
Oh wow, and like the airflow and everything of it. Huh. Yeah, so you can model all sorts of things and stuff. Yeah, that's
cool. And that one is actually it shows how they use the cold air to do the air conditioning without using too much energy. So it's interesting.
Michael's saying that Minecraft game is being turned off. Oh wow, okay. I guess.
What do you mean the Minecraft game is being turned off?
I guess the real world one I was talking about, like where you can actually build Minecraft, like in the real world. I guess they're stopping it for some reason.
Interesting.
That was pretty cool from my side. So
yeah. Let's do an if. Not Vonage members.
I thought one person he did like Super Mario Brothers, like in the real world. So you're like Super Mario and you're jumping on the little mushrooms and everything. And there was like a Street Fighter one too. I was like, oh,
nice. You can see the members coming through.
Nice.
So let's have a look at the data for members and see what we have in there. Status update. So what do we want to do with that that member?
I guess it's kind of like update, I guess, because I think the main thing would be the state.
Yeah, but the thing is, when we do the status update,
you need stuff to be able to put into it.
Yeah, it needs to exist, right?
Yes.
So so let's do this in here. So we're gonna do the for each again. For each, I can't remember how it's done, so I'm going to just use this.
It's the array dot for each. So
this one, yeah. So it'll be Vonage members. This will be member. I'm just going to put it like that, and then in here I'm going to do the. Do we import members in here? No. Can we do like this member? Also require members. Oops. We have access to the members, right?
Yeah. We exported it and everything, right? Like just
yeah. Because we using the barrel roll stuff. So it's this one here, right? So it's we get access to this.
Okay.
So let me get rid of this. So in here we have members.get. I think that should work. I'm gonna do it there. Member. Let's see how this works. Okay.
Oh, of course. You put like for the for each, you need to put an async. So async mem.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We didn't get the mem dot. We didn't pass the right thing.
Oh,
.id.
right. True.
So if not mem.id, return. Okay. Cool. We're getting some undefines here. So that means they don't exist.
Yeah.
So this is where we need to insert the member, right? So I think one thing we didn't do right here is we call this invited. We probably need to have like an insert. I think I got bogged down by first of all, my music stopped. Let me go back. Where is my music? It's here. So we got bogged down by the status stuff, which is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, status update is good, but we should have something called create. And that should create whatever we need rather than assuming that we're only going to create with a status invited. Yeah.
Yeah, because they could join, I guess, automatically be joined.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this thing here. I'm going to leave the invited there because I don't want to change it in the other place yet. But I'm going to call it create. Right. So this will have a Vonage ID, the conversation, the user, and then the status. So I can create with any status. Right. So if we have a member, I think what we need to do is to update it, just do the status update.
Okay.
Right. So if it exists already, we assume it's because we already have it. So we're gonna do a status update dot and wait again. Vonage ID and the status here. Oops. And maybe get the member again. So we have an updated status. Does this return the? Yeah, it returns the member, right? So we can actually say member equal.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we get.
Wait. So if there's a member, then we update the status, and then we'll return the update. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Because the status is the only thing that can change for a member, really.
Yeah.
And then if we don't have it, we're looking to check if we have a conversation and if we have a user. And if we can't find any of those things, we're just going to member create error. Potentially what we could do is if we go to here to get, we can pass in the API fallback.
Okay. So that it would make a call then or something?
So it'll make a call and try and find it. Actually, probably we should do that. Right? So it's the same thing here. Actually, the users, I'm not sure if we have. So this is inside users here. We have it as well. The reason I did it get by Vonage ID is because we have get by name as well.
Okay.
Because you can do both ways depending on what information you get from different APIs.
Okay.
Going back here, so we have a conversation of a user, and at this point is guaranteed to exist in the either exist in the database or retrieve it from the API. So the only way this will fail is if we get to create a member with a conversation ID or a user ID that doesn't exist in the API.
Yeah.
And then we insert it. And the state, we need to pass in the state, not invited here. Right? So did we call it state? No, status. Why do we call it status? Okay, let's call it state. Because otherwise we're going to, again, and state here as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get into issues. What do you call it here? New status. New state should be called. I'm not sure. Sometimes I just do random things like that, and I don't understand why they came from. because it certainly says state there. So new state, Vonage ID. Cool. I think we're good there. So going back to create, we inserted with Vonage ID, conversation ID, user ID, and state. I want to have a look at the database and see what we have in there, just in case we're missing something. So the structure is ID, user ID, conversation ID, state, and Vonage ID. So we have everything that we need. So we're only going to need the user ID, conversation ID, and the Vonage ID. Vonage ID, conversation ID, user ID, state. Cool. Member created. User ID, conversation. Probably going to put the state in here as well, just to be safe. Not to be safe, but to actually have a full picture.
Yeah, see where they're at.
Yeah. So I think the create works now.
Yeah. So the let conversation up a little bit. Let me see something.
Sorry.
So yeah. So you're saying the true. So it's going to go and make a call to the API just to make sure that we actually get.
If it doesn't find in the database, only if it doesn't find in the database.
Yeah, and that's what that member. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. Okay. So going back to the conversation here, to synchronizing. Oh, actually, sorry, we forgot to expose this one.
Oh, create.
Yeah. So I'm going to put it here just after invited, like it is in the text. Oops. Okay. Create, update, sync members here. Actually, we don't need to get the member now, right? Because if we do members create, it will automatically create or do stuff with it. So if it already exists. But we need to
Vonage ID and stuff, right?
Yeah. So we're going to have ID, state. We have a Vonage ID as the conversation there. What we don't have is the user ID. But we have the user inside the embedded in here on the right. Okay. So we can actually get, we can say embedded equals member, right?
Yes.
So we can say if not ID or not state or not embedded or not embedded.user. I'm going to go and actually go to the pause stuff and see exactly what we have. So user has an ID inside. Right? Okay. So it's the same thing, and I'm going to have .id. This will return. Okay. And now we have member create, and then we have
pass in those things.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have a look and see what's the order. Okay, so oops. So Vonage ID is actually it's the member. No, it's the ID. The Vonage ID is the conversation ID because we have it from here. Actually, probably we should change this and call it conversation ID because it's going to get confusing. So conversation ID here, conversation ID here, conversation ID here. Yeah, that sounds good. And then the user ID will be this one. Oh, we didn't look for this. Oh, we have state actually here. Sorry. And the state, and that's it. Does that look right?
I think so, yes. And yeah.
Okay, let's give it a go. We have some circular stuff. Conversation get is not a function. Conversation, what?
Is it?
I think we have a circular thing because I'm importing members from conversation and conversation from members.
Okay.
So how do I solve that?
So
that's what it's.
All right. So we're okay.
It's circular dependency.
Yeah. So go to where it's doing that then.
So so I have members here, right? But in members, I'm also importing conversation.
Oh.
Let's see. Why do I import conversations in member? Because I want to get the conversation. So how do I solve this circular dependency? Hey, chat. Can anyone suggest how I can solve this? In other languages, it's usually done dynamically, so it just ignores one if you have the other.
So,
because you see, conversation imports members that on its own imports conversation with imports members. It just literally goes all the way down like that. But in this case, the dependency is legitimate. I guess one way to do it is to get the members out entirely. But then you still need to include members. This squeaks. We're almost out of time, so probably that'll be good exercise for me to learn a bit more JavaScript.
So go to the members. We're using members in conversations.
I'm using it in here when I synchronize members. This one here, members create.
So maybe that has to be then maybe in members, and then you can just.
But you still need to include members to get to it, right?
Well, it would be available in members, right?
Yeah, but you still need to get to it somehow.
Oh no, I was saying like put that whole thing maybe into
this thing.
Oh yeah.
No, because I think the same thing happens.
Because then in
But do you need to include? Yeah, because this has only the context of its own thing, right?
Yeah.
I'll try and understand what's happening and how to solve it. But yeah, it's an interesting problem.
Yeah, something would have to be removed from. Yeah, I have to look at it. Interesting.
Yeah, but we're almost out of time, so I can't believe it's already 2 hours.
Yeah, that was quick. Yeah,
it went really quick. A couple of things before we sign off. Let me open our lovely developer poll. So Vonage Dev TV, so we stream every day pretty much, I think apart from Tuesday. This week we have Tuesday as well. Apart from Friday now. So there will be 5 shows this week.
Wait. Today's the 22nd.
Oh, this is 22nd, sorry. 4 shows this week. So we don't have anything tomorrow. So it's us today, Low Code Hour on Wednesday with Yulia. I'm not sure exactly what she's doing this week. Usually she does Zapier or other clever tools like that, and Node-RED and whatnot.
Low-code tool / platform, maybe bubble.io?
Oh, okay. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah. Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
When I hear low-code, I always remember the joke that 3 types of developers, it's low code, no code, and yay code.
Wait, what's the yay code? What's that?
I mean, like people have love to code.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bad joke if it needs to be explained, but yeah. Then Michael is doing more mistakes on Tuesday. What are you doing on Tuesday? Oh, sorry, Wednesday, Michael.
I know he's been doing video TypeScript stuff.
Yeah, video API with TypeScript. And then on Thursday, Lauren learns things with Michael Heap.
Nice.
So it'll be interesting to see that conversation. There's a lot of insight.
I can kind of guarantee GitHub Actions will be mentioned. At least.
Shall we make like a Twitch bingo and kind of predict what we're going to talk about?
That'd be funny. Yeah, we could probably code. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Michael says it's not now. Yeah, well, never are your mistakes, Michael.
Well, it actually is kind of the business. So yeah. It's kind of our business. Like, yeah, it's
cool. The other thing I want to point out is Voyagers. I think this is still ongoing. We have more people we onboard. Lots of great tools to get early access to, and technologies that you can. Oh, thank you for that, Dwane. I always forget about the hash. What do you call it? Commands, actually. In Twitch.
I'm not a Twitch person, so I don't know.
Yeah. Another thing I want to look at, which I forgot, is the blog posts we did. Oh, look, someone is live on Twitch. Wonder who they are. Okay, there you go.
Man, look at that. Greg's got something new. Nice.
Yeah. So this is something big that's going to happen in the US with shortcodes. I think the 10 DLC is kind of the name of the project. Basically, shortcodes are going away, and they're replaced by a certain process to send automatic text to people and voice. Ben Greenberg launched version 7.3.0 of a Ruby SDK, and someone else wrote something about Angulars and the joyful and fun.
Oh yeah, web components. It's it's a fad. No,
it's a fad, yeah, like the internet. Yeah,
exactly. It's not going anywhere. It's fine.
Yeah. It's a fad, but it's not going anywhere.
It is right.
Cool. So yeah, these are some really nice blog posts in here, which we definitely recommend. We're not biased, but we recommend this one. And Greg's, because he's in the chat. Cool.
And then we have our developer spotlight. Let me put that in there. So
developer spotlight, yeah.
Speaking of blog posts, you can
go back.
You got something cool you want to, write for us, you can actually earn some money.
Is it under? I can't remember where it is. Is it under the?
I posted a link to it /spotlight.
Yeah, we had it here in the.
I posted a link to it in the.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And also for the community, you can see the events we're going to be present at for the next month or so. Cool. I think that's it from us, Dwane. Did we forget anything else?
No, I think that's pretty much everything. So yeah, we got a lot done. So that's cool.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty good to see things coming together and being used together. So yeah, thank you everyone in the chat. There's too many to mention, to be honest, but thank you for your attention. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we initialized your week properly.
Nice. So is Luke going to get started streaming, I think, after us, or what's happening? Luke is after us?
No, Luke is starting. He started about an hour ago. On his personal channel.
Oh, okay.
So Luca Codes is one of our colleagues. He's starting streaming a couple of weeks ago on his personal one at 3 p.m. UK time on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, I believe. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but he's streaming right now.
Oh, so you want? I don't know how I've seen people talking about rating. How do we have that? No, we don't.
We can, but we decided not to rate people from our official kind of channel for now. That's those are the current rules. So yeah.
I know nothing again about Twitch or anything. So yeah.
So rate basically it's a way to take your community at the end of your stream to someone else's channel as a way to kind of maybe give them a bit more exposure, or if you like what they're doing, or if a community is aligned. I mean, there is no reason. Exactly, and to take some people that are interested in a particular topic to another channel that's exactly the same topic or related.
Cool.
So yeah, cool. Sounds good. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good week. Hope we entertained you, and as I said, initialized your week properly. Thank you very much, Dwane, again for joining me. Always a pleasure. Always helpful to actually talk to someone. and no, because you have a lot of good ideas, and I don't know JavaScript enough to actually do it on my own. So thank you for your help. I appreciate your guidance. Cool. Have a good week, everyone, and I'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Have a
Bye.
great week.